Hey, Mark, did you see that article that referred to President Obama's talk that he gave in Johannesburg, South Africa last Wednesday, July 18th? He was encouraging more women to get involved politically, and he was really upset by the behavior of men in general. And his quote is saying, "Men have been getting on my nerves lately." He goes on, "Every day I read the newspaper and I just keep thinking, brothers, what's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with us? We're violent, we're bullying, just, not handling our business." What do you think, Mark, of those comments?
Well, Elliot, I would say this speaks to the lack of mensch-like behavior that is on the rise now as the world gravitates toward anti-democratic strongmen leaders. And what the world really needs now is menschwork. Hi, everybody. I'm Mark Dwartson, and Elliot likes to tease me that while many men have profound things to say after the Jewish men's retreats every year, he says my quoted evaluation deserves to be listed on the website where it is. And he asked me to read it for this discussion. So here it is. The Jewish men's retreat brings together an incredible group of men each year. The generosity of spirit, affirmation of the image of God in each other, and cultivation of our best selves at these retreats inspires and uplifts long after the closing circle. The JMR is a great way to reconnect with yourself as a man and to find out how other men are doing. It's not often safe to be vulnerable with other men, but at JMR, this is not only possible, but encouraged and supported.
Yeah, I do like that quote, one of my favorites. I'm Elliot Meyerowitz, and I've been going to the JMR weekend retreat for about 16 years. Not every year, but most years I'm there. And over the years, the group has grown in size, and our focus has become even more clear. And we've come up with the desire to share with other men what we feel are important ways of moving through the world, integrating principles that have made the JMR experience transformative in men's lives. Now, we've transformed not only from an annual event, but to a 501c3 organization called Menschwork.org, and you can look at us online. And how did this come about? I don't say this is authoritative, it's just my opinion. I've watched over the years that the leadership rotates every year from the event. And a few years back, there was a need for some longer term planning, and it became composed of men who were past annual leaders. We call ourselves the Wisdom Council. The other thing that happened is that we couldn't fit at our retreat center. We were 100 men, and the davening space had a fire code that we couldn't have more than 100 men. And so we were feeling like we had things we wanted to share, and we were limited by our location and size. So we decided what to do next, and we went on a weekend visioning retreat by Mordechai Liebling facilitated. And you can look online and see that we came out with mission and values and principles and a lot of things that we think that Menschwork should be working towards. Our motto is compassion, integrity, spirit. And we want to share these insights beyond our annual weekend retreat and throughout the year. And one way of doing this throughout the year we came out with was having topics that really men are passionate about, and you applying Menschwork principles to these topics. And we're going to share with you a list of them that we came up with. It's not inclusive. We were looking for your ideas as well. But let's go over some of the guidelines and how these topics can be officially part of the Menschwork creation. So first, let me start showing you what we came up with.
Okay, so the webinar is posted on menschwork.org, of which there is one right now, should support our mission and core values. You see the link there, which will show what those are, but they connect to compassion, integrity, and spirit. So at the very root of this, we want to make sure that those core principles are reflected in the webinars.
And we do have one that we created recently that we're proud of. and you can go to that website, menschwork.org, and the tab on webinars will take you there. And you actually see that that event got broken in two pieces, and we're going to tell you about those two pieces. They're both interesting, and if you have the time, it'd be great to start with whichever one you want, but try to watch both of them to get an idea of what we're trying to do with different topics.
So the two-part format starts with first a background presentation on the topic by whoever is planning the webinar. It could be one or multiple men who have collaborated to present something. And then the second part, shown in the second link on our webinar page, is an open discussion that will include the webinar presenters and invited guests, as well as anyone who has joined the webinar. And that open discussion, like the presentation, will reflect the mission and core values we mentioned earlier.
Now, if you have a topic that's not on our list, we want to hear about it. And if you send it to the contact link in our website, we have a committee that will look at your outline or even just a few sentences, and we'll try to give you some feedback on how we can make it compatible with our mission and core values if it's not already there. And then we can progress forward if your topic is something that we want to support, and we hope we can.
So among the suggested topics that we have brainstormed about are Judaism, gender, sexuality, and power. Why is Pirkei Avot, ethics of our fathers, timeless wisdom? What is Musar? What life changes have happened for those who have studied and practiced Musar? So you can look at the list afterwards, but the idea is to either, select a topic that you're interested in leading or co-leading a webinar on, or perhaps come up with an idea of your own and let us know through the contact form on the Menschwork website.
Now, once we have a topic, we have to have the technical production. And none of us are IT experts, but we have a successful webinar, and we think we can replicate that. So we will help you with the technical Zoom features and how you can have breakout sessions and chat groups and recordings and uploadings. And so we'll promote it. We'll give the log on. So the things we're asking of you is to come up more topics or plug into some of the topics that we already have some men who've expressed interest in, and you can join them. We see this, again, as something that carries on throughout the year, the transformative work that we do at our annual retreats. And men who've come have said they really like to see how we could, throughout the year, continue to communicate some things that are important in their lives. And we think this is one way. And we also say there are men who just can't make it to our annual retreat, but they say this is something they're really interested in. So maybe in a future year they can come, but this year they can get hooked in right away into a webinar. Either way, we want to hear from you, whether you've been to retreats or you just want to get started doing some of the work that we find very valuable. Well, we'd love to hear from you. Mark, what else?
I think that about wraps it up. The main idea is to expand our reach so that more men can experience what we have at the men's retreat, and to keep that community alive in between those retreats. So we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you all.